Hello and welcome. Sometimes to really speak natural English, you have to understand the music behind the words. Today, we're going to unlock a huge part of that music. It's a concept called connected speech.
So, have you ever had this experience? You're listening to a native speaker and you hear something like, "What are you doing?" But in your head, you're searching for the words, "What are you doing?" It can be really frustrating, I know. But the reason for this isn't that they're talking too fast. It's something else, a secret that native speakers use without even thinking about it. Well, the answer to that little puzzle, and the key to making your own English sound much more smooth and natural, is what we call connected speech. So let's pull back the curtain and see exactly what's going on.
So, what is it exactly? Okay, think of connected speech as the invisible glue that holds our sentences together. In English, we don't really speak word by word. Instead, we speak in thought groups. We link words together that belong to a single idea, making them flow into one continuous sound. This is probably the most important technique for sounding smooth instead of, well, robotic.
And the difference is pretty amazing, isn't it? On one side, you have, "I will let you know." It feels clunky, but on the other, you have the natural version, "I'll let you know." It's just one smooth thought. And here's the interesting part for learners. If you try too hard to pronounce every single word perfectly, you can actually be harder to understand, because native listeners are expecting that smooth, connected version. So, why is this so important to master? Well, because this is a powerful two-way skill. It's not just about how you speak. It also completely changes how you listen.
There are two huge benefits here. First, when you connect your words, your speech gets a natural flow and rhythm. You sound clearer, more confident. But here's the real game changer. When you practice making these connections yourself, you're also training your ear to recognize them. All of a sudden, that fast, blurry speech you hear in movies or in conversations, it starts to make sense.
All right, theory is great, but practice is where the real learning happens. So let's break down a few common phrases together. And I really want you to try saying these out loud with me. Let's really feel how these words link up. Okay, let's start with a really simple one. If you read this on a page, your first instinct might be to say, "I got it." It's correct, but it's not how people actually talk. It doesn't have that flow.
Now, here's the magic. That final T sound in got doesn't just stop. It actually links to the next word, it. And here's a really common rule in American English. When a T sound is between two vowel sounds, like the O in got and the I in it often changes to a soft D sound. We call this a flap T. So, the result is one smooth sound. I got it.
Can you hear that?
I got it. Try it. I got it. That smooth connection is exactly what we're looking for.
Okay, ready for a longer one? You'll hear this all the time. Spoken word by word, it's "don't worry about it." Again, perfectly clear, but it doesn't sound very conversational, does it? Now let's see where the connections are.
The most important connection happens right at the end. And hey, you should recognize this pattern by now. It's that same T between two vowels. The T in about links right into the it in it, and they merge together. So in natural speech, it becomes, "don't worry about it." In fact, often we'll even reduce about to just bout. The whole phrase just flows together. Don't worry about it. Say it with me. Don't worry about it.
Okay, one last example, and this one has a few links in a row. It's a great idiom for when you're finished with work. Word by word, it's, "let's call it a day." Here we have a chain reaction. First, the final L sound in call connects to the I in it, call it. Then, the T in it does that flap T thing we just learned, connecting to the next word, a, ita. The whole thing becomes a continuous chain of sound. When you put it all together, you get this. Let's call it a day. It almost sounds like one long word, doesn't it? Let's call it a day. That is the music of natural connected English. So going through these examples is a fantastic start. But the real change happens when you turn this from an exercise into a real habit. So how do you do that? How do you make this part of your everyday practice? Well, there are 3 simple things you can do. First, become a listening detective. When you're listening to music or watching a show, actively hunt for these connections. Second, practice what you hear out loud. Repeat those phrases over and over until the connected way feels more natural than the choppy way. And third, and this is the most important, be patient with yourself. You are literally rewiring your brain and your muscle memory. This takes time. So, I'll leave you with a question. Not if you'll practice, but what you'll practice first. Think of one phrase that you've heard that sounds blurry, or maybe one you want to use more often. Your journey to sounding more natural starts right there with that one single phrase. What's it going to be?